Joining us now is John Heinberg, Senior Market Advisor with Stuart Peterson. John, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. How are we doing today?
Not too bad. We will start with yesterday's USDA report. Any surprises there, and what effect did that have on the markets?
Yeah, we had a couple surprises. The market didn't react to it too much yesterday. Gets a little bit of buying action today. Maybe some of that's follow through. That corn crop continues in terms of the carryout number gets a little bit smaller. We're now under 1.8 at 1.77 billion bushels. So that was favorable in that regard. Bumping some exports and feed usage up there. Then on top of that, the wheat market, everybody was expecting that number to get a little bit bigger on the carryout. They only shrunk it by 1 million bushels, but still that was considered to be positive in that regard. And then I think one of the bigger surprises was the fact that they just didn't change beans at all. They left everything status quo, and the market was kind of looking for a bit of a bushel carryout cutback on that area.
That's the northern hemisphere. How are things looking down south as they get into the fall season down south?
Yeah, they're continuing to push in their harvest down there. We got some wet weather that's maybe curbing back on some of those yields a little bit, but regardless of what adjustments they've been making on those numbers, there's still pretty good plentiful crop of both beans and corn down there. Obviously more on the bean front, and that's probably the biggest one that we're focused on here in terms of our U.S. bean market.
We had a lack of snow in the northern portions of the United States this year, feet below normal. As we get into the next week or so, it doesn't look like any appreciable moisture. At what point does the lack of moisture start to potentially affect farmers and then the markets?
Well, the marketplace, we're starting to see a little chatter about that now. We kind of got through this March numbers yesterday. We're hearing that a little bit in the wheat front. That's kind of what maybe led wheat a little bit higher yesterday was the fact that we didn't get that bushel. We got that bushel cutback. Then on top of that, we got the hard red wheat belt is also seeing quite a bit of dryness. Now we got a warm couple weeks here in March with prospects of us going back colder, and we're not seeing a real appreciable moisture coming through. And so now we really don't have any weather premium built into any of these markets, especially on the wheat and the corn side. So maybe we can get a little bit of legs here. Like I said, it is up 4 or 5 cents again today. That's got corn doing the same action. So maybe we'll see if we can get a little bit of a lift. We've been kind of waiting for one here because we just don't have a lot of safety net built into these grain prices right now.
All right, real quick, how about the livestock markets? How have they been trending?
Livestock markets, again, we're continuing to see cattle hold in here basically because of its discount to cash on the futures front. But that cattle market's going to get some question points here. Biggest factor going on things is that hog market continues to have a very large supply picture, and when you got an overabundance of red meat and a competing meat, it just makes difficult time for cattle. Hogs are now kind of pushing towards those lows again, so we'll have to see if they can hold. But one little factor, we got that U.S. dollar continues to be very strong, and that allows packers to bring some imports in. Plus, just puts a lot of pressure on commodities in general, and that is moving close to the 100 basis point mark again this morning.
All right, very good, John. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. Once again, that was John Heinberg, Senior Market Advisor with Stuart Peterson. Coming up after the break, one last look at your weather and a sneak peek at what's coming up on the Valley today.